Tell us, what are some of your best tips for searching the site?
What we call a smart or semantic search. We use a little bit more words, phrase it into questions, whereby traditionally Elephind, the original version, primarily relied on keywords, and it was just look for those words as they appeared in the article. But with a smart semantic search, it's taking into things like context, it's looking at synonyms, and then it's also looking at kind of related ideas as well. So, for example, if somebody searched what is a smith, traditional keyword search is going to return you thousands and thousands of examples of people with the name Smith. But with the smart search, it has the ability to kind of interpret that, well, potentially you're looking at an occupation. So smithing, for example. Another one is World War One warships, for example. So obviously at the time, World WW1 was not really a term that was actually used. With the semantic and smart search. Essentially, the search is able to understand what WW1 means, and it turns the relevant articles, even though that term wasn't used back then. And the other thing, as I mentioned, like in terms of questions, if you typed in a question, for example, say when was rugby invented, it would have the ability to essentially kind of understand that particular question and return more relevant results as well. But that's not to say that, the keyword search is not important, particularly from a genealogy perspective, where you're potentially looking at specific dates, names. So it still has very much an important place, and still very much a core feature of Elephind as well.